Google recently announced a slew of software updates that y'all should know about, including some really interesting security and privacy features. Hey S'mores, I'm Shannon Morse, and I love talking tech, security, and privacy. So if that floats your boat, subscribe to see more, including my reviews of the new and upcoming Pixel devices. Google based a lot of discussion at their Google I/O event last month around Android 13, saying that they are still pushing for RCS adoption through different manufacturers and carriers, which would bring end-to-end encryption to messaging. Now, I am a big fan of RCS and pushing its adoption, so I am all for this. On top of that, Android 13 Beta, which was released at the same time at Google I/O, will include support for RCS messaging and group chats. Google Chrome and Android will now allow you to use virtual credit card numbers instead of physical ones to make online purchases, which can also help prevent fraud. Account safety is getting a boost with a new alert feature that will prompt you to add additional security to your account. And as an example, I just saw one of these prompts on my Gmail account asking me to enable two-factor authentication. There was an option that said I already have 2FA enabled, so that's what I clicked on, and then the pop-up went away and I haven't seen it since then. But that's so useful. If you don't already have 2FA on, it'll give you a mention and remind you to do it. If you do want to have a digital copy of your ID on your phone, you will be able to with the Google Wallet. Now, your driver's license or digital ID card can be added to the wallet, and you could share it via NFC or QR code. Personally, I am a little bit wary about this, and I need to see some white papers about the security analysis before I do that with my own phone. I'm a little sketched out about putting my ID or license in a digital format on my own phone. I need to see some additional info on that before I choose to do it myself. Google Pay is being streamlined to look more minimalist and make it easier to access things like tickets, park passes, and IDs. Also, I wanted to mention, though this was announced a few weeks ago before Google I/O happened, if you end up seeing like your phone number, address, email listed in Google search results, Google's gonna give you an automated way to remove that information. So that can be incredibly useful with combating things like doxing or harassment or identity theft. Casting music, movies, and photos will be available to more device manufacturers who partner with Google, and Google will be implementing compatibility with Matter. So what is Matter? I haven't talked about it much on this channel yet, but Matter will be a cross-platform protocol for smart home products launching later this year that should help you with different branded devices all talk to each other, but it also helps with security at the same time. So Google will be introducing Fast Pair to allow you to pair and connect smart products faster if they use Matter. Lastly, for security and privacy, but more about the safety aspect, Wear OS will be getting the SOS feature. Just like the phones have now, this will allow you to call emergency services straight from your Android watch. And a quick little side note about my shorts videos, which are on this YouTube channel as well. I did 3 or 4 about different ways that you can set up emergency SOS, no matter if you use a OnePlus, Samsung, Google, or an Apple phone as well. Also, a big shout out to Sunny for becoming my newest channel member, and OCal for joining my Patreon S'mores crew. The links are down below for all the different ways you can support my content, but the content will always be free here on YouTube either way. Google is also announcing a bunch of accessibility features for this year. So for example, Google Translate. It's one of my favorite things ever. I translate Japanese to English all the time. This will get 24 new languages, including ones from Indigenous Native Americans. Now, y'all know I already try to add chapters and captions to my videos as much as possible, but Google is also expanding automated chapter generation and transcriptions to videos across YouTube. This is a really great step for creators. It helps automate some of our post-production work, which can take a long time in itself, and this will make it more accessible as well. Also, now we know about a bunch of just plain cool features that will be coming to Google tools and products. For example, Google Maps is getting some upgrades. Immersive mode in Google Maps is coming soon to a city near you. Yay! For example, cities like LA, San Francisco, Tokyo are all going to be getting this first this year. AI will join together billions and billions of images, from street view to aerial imaging, to create a more immersive view of the world, where you can look at places up close. You will be able to slide a timer to see what a place looks like at different times of the day. Like, does it get crowded during lunchtime at this restaurant? Or what time does traffic start backing up onto this specific street in San Francisco to get to the on-ramp to get on the highway? That's a thing. Sometimes I would sit in traffic for like an hour just waiting to get onto an on-ramp in San Francisco because it was so congested. I'm absolutely going to use this for my next trip to Tokyo whenever that happens. Hopefully it happens sometime in the next year. That would be nice. Google Docs will also have better spam control, and there's this new thing which is really cool. It's called TLDR mode. Which gives you the Cliff Notes version of a document. Useful. Another super useful tool coming to Google Search. Soon you will be able to take a photo of something like a hardware component for a broken sprinkler system that the people installing your patio accidentally punctured. Ask me how I know about this experience. You can add the words "near me" and Google will find that component in stock at a store near you. This is going to be called Multisearch Near Me. How cool is it that you can take a picture of something and just say "near me" and it will tell you where to buy it? Like, there are so many times that I have gone to Home Depot or Lowe's with a thing in my hand and I have to go up to somebody and say, "What is this thing? I need a replacement," because I don't know what any of this stuff is called, so I don't know what to Google. So yeah, let me just take a picture of it and find out where I can buy a new thing. Scene exploration is also launching for search. This will let you scan, for example, an aisle of food at a grocery store, and then you can get an overlay of information for the product seen, so you could quickly find that particular type of cookie that you're looking for, or that specific type of wine. Say, for example, you're vegan and you can only buy vegan products, you may want to find a particular ingredient list online and you don't have all the time to Google search every single one of these different products that are on a grocery store aisle. So again, a very useful tool. Realtone will be getting some upgrades later this year with a new filter that's rolling out to Google Photos, and their skin tone scale is now open source, so any developers can use this feature to make their own applications more consistent and true to reality. If you have a Nest Hub Max, it will now recognize you looking at it and it will prompt you to ask it a question, no longer requiring you to say the prompt word HEY Google. Now this is called Look and Talk. Also, Assistant will now be a bit more patient whenever you're talking to it. So if you say something like trigger word Google, add potatoes to my shopping list, it will wait for me to actually finish my thought, even if I have like an or an in there, before timing out and telling me that it didn't understand me, which could be very frustrating if I'm like standing in my kitchen looking in my pantry and going, can I add, I don't know, oranges to my shopping list? Now, surprisingly, they did mention tablets. I'm so excited about this because I used to hack on tablets. With Android 13 bringing things like drag and drop and multi-screen views to tablets and their applications. So all in all, even though Google I/O happened a couple of weeks ago, a lot of these new features and tools I'm really looking forward to. It's a lot of updates, but I am curious if you are excited about any of these new features or are just kind of meh about them. Personally, I'm really stoked about RCS, the Matter protocol being implemented into products, Google Maps updates, all the different implementations of Assistant. Comment below on your thoughts and check out my other Google coverage video about the new Pixel devices. I'm super excited about those too. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, y'all.